Hello, welcome to my channel. Sorry about the horrible video. My HDMI converter has broken. This thing is a DigiRig, which is an interface to connect audio and serial control to a radio transceiver, connects via USB, and I was using it with Ubuntu and Linux Mint and having problems with it changing its configurations and device IDs changing, and I got a bit sick of it, so I decided to try NixOS instead, which is a declarative system where you declare things in a file and they can't be changed by the system. I like the sound of that. If you haven't seen NixOS before, let me switch on the screen capture. There, sorry about this. Okay, just using one laptop for everything. This is nixos.org and it's a Linux based on Debian, but it's declarative or declarative depending, and you declare in a file what you want and that's what you get. So it's a little bit less user-friendly perhaps, but it's reliable and reproducible. So once you've made it something work, it will continue working, won't get broken by updates unless you want it to, and hardware settings, which are quite important to me, stay the same. So what you would have to do, I'm not going to show you how to install it. You go to the download page and look for the ISO files. Here we are, ISO image, graphical one I want. So you just download it, and I actually put it onto a USB stick with Ventoy, because then you don't have to burn it to a single USB stick. You just copy the ISO image, and you can boot from the ISO image you choose when the Ventoy boots the machine. So it's really nice to use. If you want to install more packages on NixOS, you actually just put the name of it into a file. Now, I'm going to demonstrate using, what am I going to use? BTOP, because it's small. So this is the NixOS packages list, and it's a good idea just to search for what you want to install in case the name is slightly different. So I want BTOP, and there's BTOP. You'll see what it is in a minute if you don't know it. And how to install it. I don't want to install it in the shell. That's a temporary thing just to test it. If you wanted to, you would do this. Let's make that a bit bigger. But I want to do everything in a declarative way in the config file. So there you just add in BTOP is the name of it. So let's have a look at that config file. This is the one that's generated by default when you install. This is a fresh installed NixOS. And what do you have to do? You can see I've already tried it once because I had to install OBS on this machine to be able to record the video. So this is the config file. That's the name of it, configuration.nix. And everything is defined in here, and you can change it to whatever you want. You have to, well, I'll show you what you have to do afterwards after we've saved it. But in here, you can change everything. Host name, I change that later to be the name of this machine so I can know which one it is on the network. Location, all this has been put in automatically. Later on, I'm going to be adding in another video various hardware configuration rules, UDEV rules and pulse audio rules and all sorts of things. At the moment this is the default, so it'll grab that audio interface and then won't let go of it. You plug a different one in and things go wrong, which is why I've switched to using this NixOS instead. There's the user, my username is user. You can choose anything you want when you install it. Oh, here, that user is a member of this group, these groups. Later on I will add another one which would be dial out, so I can access serial port devices via USB. That's quite important, but that comes later. And it's already got Firefox installed and nothing else by default. I've added these two, OBS Studio to record this video, VLC to play it back. Where's the cursor? This is, I'm using Nano Editor, so it's a little bit more rudimentary. So I want to add in something else, 2 spaces, and then the thing I wanted to install was called BTOP. So I'll install that. Let's have a little look down here. I think there's nothing else in this file really. Lots of comments. It's always good to put in comments. And this is the version of the NixOS that I've got. I would like to use the LTS kernel, which it's not currently, but at the top you can actually declare which kernel you want to use. So I will be using the LTS one in future videos. I'll change it up here somewhere. You can define which kernel you want. Anyway, it's in the config section. So I've made one change. Let's do Control X to exit and then save modified buffer. Yes, save it to that file. So what we need to do now is just to use this command NixOS rebuild and then switch to it. So it's a bit like a compiler is what it looks like as it's running. It's just going to add in that extra program and not much else. Depending on how many things you add, of course, it may take longer. And the first time you do this, it takes longer. This is not the first time. So this is not the fastest laptop in the world. It's a very old ThinkPad with a i5 Series 4 in it, which is great for testing out radio stuff and interfaces and so on and experiments like this. And of course Linux doesn't need high-powered super duper computers. Yeah, plug and play on Windows is something that used to annoy me when the days when I had to use Windows, and I switched to using Ubuntu and Debian, which is much better. But still sometimes things like Pulse Audio will grab an audio device when I don't want it to, and then it won't let go of it, and then the device has disappeared, which is why I'm then using this NixOS instead, so I can declare what devices are used and how they're defined, and they won't go away. So now that that's been done, I can run that program called btop just by typing btop, and there it is. You see, it just loads up and it works. So I like that. I'm going to be adding more programs later, not very many, to do packet radio APRS stuff using that little DigiRig interface. So I think that's enough for one video. Perhaps NixOS is not for everybody, but if you're trying to do hardware experiments and you don't want things to change, then it seems to be essential to me. Let's see how I get on. Sorry about the video again. Anyway, so that's enough for now. I look forward to reading your comments or questions. I'm not an expert on NixOS, but I'm going to be learning how to use it, and already I've got packet radio working reliably with it, which I'll show in another video. Thank you for watching. Like if you like, and if you want to know when the next one comes out, remember to subscribe.